Hello, everybody. Are you all there? I can't tell. Well, if that's the case and you have these glasses and you can't see anything inside, that means they still work. I've had these for probably way too long. Got some other pairs, but this is from the Venus Transit back in 2012. So hopefully you have your glasses ready. Who's ready for the Great American Solar Eclipse? Now, if you're watching from the Charlotte area where we're broadcasting from, we get 80% bite out of the sun action. But I see, Brooke, you said that you're going to Dallas. Kind of bummed about the weather outlook. We're going to get into that as well. And then also, no solar eclipse is what some of them said. Well, it depends where you're going to be. We're going to see an awesome partial solar eclipse here. There will be some cloud cover. It's not going to ruin things too much, but let's get right to it. As you probably seen on multiple news outlets, this graphic in general that's going to show you that the big solar eclipse, the path of totality is about 100 to 110 miles wide, is going to be cutting through the center of the United States, starting in Texas, going all the way up through the northern part of New England. So let's bring this graphic back. Anything outside of that, you're going to be in the shadow that's called the penumbra. Where, quick lesson, there are two parts of the shadow of the moon that's casted on the earth during one of these events. The umbra literally is the darkest pinpoint that is refracted back onto earth, and that is the path of totality. That's why it's so small. But then the penumbra spans for thousands of miles on either side. So that's why it's up to about a 40% total eclipse down through the Keys and down into the Caribbean. So Carmen says, good morning from Facebook. It's great to see all of you. I'm really excited about this. I wish I could be in the path of totality, but as Brooke mentioned, going to Texas, meteorologists have been in general saying that months ago, if you're going to choose a spot, it was Texas. The reason why is if you look at the average cloud cover for decades, it's usually a lot sunnier there, but he kind of had the worst case scenario that a pair of fronts, everything gets twisted up, bottlenecked, and then you have some stalled fronts that's keeping more clouds down to the south compared to usually it's the Great Lakes area, as Joy, who just logged on, knows very much about. That's cloudier up there, but they actually have a better shot at more sunshine in areas of the south. But again, we'll get to that. Let's start off right here in the Charlotte area. The change in the forecast is that all that jazz that's happening off towards the west starts to creep towards us by tomorrow. If today was the day of the partial solar eclipse for the Charlotte area, well, we would be looking at not a cloud in the sky. It would be perfect viewing. But you're going to notice by 3:12 that I have it right here. The general time is 1:54 to 4:26 p.m. So we're talking about a 2.5 hour window that we're going to be able to see this awesome phenomenon. Now, if you were here in 2017, it's not going to be as cool as that because that was pretty much a near total eclipse. It was 97%, but 80% is still pretty awesome. I think it's awesome. And it's that 3:12 hour that we're really starting to see more clouds creep in from the west. So if you live in Cleveland County, Burke County, Avery County, I'll include Chester and York County, you have the better chance for cloud cover, but I'm not seeing like overcast skies completely. Just going to have some broken clouds that push through the area. But then you will see by the end of this partial eclipse, those clouds are starting to get a little bit thicker. But again, it's nothing compared to what we have our friends further off towards the west. Because check it out. You're seeing a bunch of cloud cover down towards the south, where most of the activity, the storm system, is stuck from Dallas to Houston to Memphis. Meanwhile, it's a little bit more of a path of clearing through Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, for another system moves down through parts of New York up into the northern tier of New England. It's a bummer type of setup that we are slowly seeing this storm system. If everything worked as it usually does, it would be in today, out tomorrow. But another system moves in, moisture builds, and then you have all these clouds that start to form in the meantime. Checking out additionally, there's also, per the Storm Prediction Center, a low to a medium threat for severe storms in a good chunk of the path of totality, where you're going to see the total eclipse. However, I think this is mainly designed for your Monday evening, Monday night time frame, so storms aren't fully taking over at that point, which is some good news. Getting to a few comments, Larry says, I worked at the airport, Columbia Metropolitan Airport in 2017 for the last one, and best seats in the house. That's awesome. Yeah, I know Delta is having a solar eclipse flight, I believe, today as well. And 2017, if you missed it, We're gonna have to wait a while. I'll have this graphic as well, but it's 2078 is the next time we're gonna have a path of totality in the Carolinas. So you're gonna have to travel. Likely, if you're watching from the Carolinas, you're probably not going. But anyone who is going, I'm going to show you a graphic that we've been showing over the last few months, but I overlaid something. And this is the cloud cover. And here, I'm going to stop real quick. I'm going to step away because I want to stop some pause points. So bear with me for a sec. Here we go. Let me see. We're going to stop this. You can probably hear me from afar. Here, let's go. Here, here, here. Boom, boom, boom. All righty, and then good. Okay. Thanks for bearing with me. All right, so what are we doing here? I had the graphic that I mentioned that I've been showing you for months pretty much, but I overlaid the most recent near-term satellite and radar potential. This would be at 1:28, so Central Time, so 2:28 obviously East Coast. And at this point over Texas, looking at some of the locations, you're approaching San Antonio, it's looking pretty cloudy. I'm not liking this. You are seeing some breaks in the action, so this is not complete doom and gloom for you Texas goers. So, Brooke, talking to you specifically, if you're going to say the Austin to the Dallas area, per this forecast, you are seeing a option and a possibility where I've seen really cool videos where it has even been mostly cloudy to overcast. You still notice a change in the atmosphere. The clouds are going to slow down. The atmosphere is just going to darken anyways because of the lack of sunshine. But this right here from Waco, Texas, which by the way, just went to Chip and Joanna Gaines. Why am I forgetting it? The Silos recently, very cool place. From Waco right here, according to this model run, showing at the peak eclipse to Tyler, Texas, you might actually have a good shot that at least it opens up for a little bit. So at least you're seeing some broken clouds. The problem with those long range models that we're looking at, if you look at it, the one I showed you before, it's just overcast. It overdoes it. But now that we have a little bit more detail, you are seeing some breaks. So this one shows Dallas cloudy at this exact point. So don't take it that, oh, it's going to be cloudy, it's going to be rainy. But at this point, you are at least seeing just scattered rain. The widespread thunderstorms, the thickest clouds are later in the day. That's the same thing for Charlotte. It gets cloudier later in the day. As we're continuing up through Texas, you're seeing a little bit more broken activity as you're starting to cross over into Oklahoma and Arkansas. You're still seeing some rain in the area, but it looks to be a little bit further east because what happens is the front is pushing actively east at that point. It's just clouds interacting with the next band that's rolling through. So I'm going to still keep my fingers crossed. I'm maybe too optimistic about things, but this is not the worst forecast. Yes, areas that we've already gone over likely might have overcast skies. But going through Illinois, Indiana, this is the best part of the forecast. Ohio looking good. Stopping here, back around the Great Lakes, and this was always the big problem. This is where it gets really cloudy again. So New York watchers, this is not looking good. This looks to be widespread overcast skies. This actually looks to be the cloudiest part that you're not going to see anything right around Buffalo. Buffalo is probably already expecting this. You know how your lake effect action goes for the snow. Same thing can go for this time of the year. That the Great Lakes was pretty much the no-no spot if you were traveling because it's this time of the season that's typically the cloudiest. It's usually the Great Lakes that suffer from seasonal affective disorder way, way more. As you are working your way through New York, there's a better chance that eastern New York might have a few more breaks in the clouds. Once you get to Burlington, Vermont, around northern New Hampshire in the path of totality into Maine, I think you're going to be clearing things out. So things are looking really good. I'm loving this new path here. So let's keep it up. Larry, my buddy in San Antonio, is trying Uber Eats runs with all the tourists in town already for the eclipse. He said all the hotels are booked. See, everyone went to Texas. Texas is the main area that we were seeing most of the action because it's usually the sunniest at this point. Our director, Robert, from there saying is like, oh yeah, no, it's usually good because storm systems are usually quickly moving as they move through, but this hasn't been the case. Instead, you have a series of fronts that all get bottlenecked down there. I hate the forecast. The only thing I think that's working out, and I'll show you this graphic here, is notice as that one system goes through, they all combine. Most of that rain all flourishes a little bit later on in the day. So you might be able to see a little bit of breakage there. Orville, how do we see it in Jamaica? For Jamaica, you're only going to see a partial eclipse like us. So Jamaica, I believe you're in the same central time zone as us. So yeah, Jamaica, you're going to be, I want to see where exactly you're going to be on the path, but I would say you're probably about a 60 to an 80%. So you can probably expect that around 2 to 3. So just look out. You're going to see a mix of clouds. What about Charlotte? Crystal Hudson, I think we're going to be partly cloudy, but at times you might have a partly sunny forecast. Crystal, we'll repeat this again, but I'm going to repeat Texas one more time. I want to show you that rain. It's really south of San Antonio, and this is stopping our model data right near the path of totality where it's hitting its peak. That's where it looks to be the cloudiest. Austin looks to be pretty thick clouds. San Antonio is actually right at technically a 99.5% totality. It's weirdly on the line. Waco seeing some breaks, but we were mentioning the Charlotte forecast here. I'll backtrack since some more of you are starting to join me. Exactly what we're going to see. Texas is looking at a mess of storm chances, but you notice here that once you get to about the maximum eclipse for the Charlotte area, I'm sorry, graphics are jumping all over the place. We got a slight delay. So, Crystal, to answer your question, hold on, bear with me. Timing of everything. Come on, graphics, catch up with me. I think you're going to have a mix of cloud and sunshine. Once you get to around 312 that we're going to be hitting our peak time, that's where we're going to be seeing the potential. And bringing up Jamaica again, yeah, Jamaica, I think you're at about a 40 to 60%. Michael Lewis, I've heard jets from Charlotte Airport last week flying over my house. Well, that's pretty cool. And let me see. Sorry, I'm having awful delays trying to get these graphics, Crystal. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. What is? Hold on one sec. I'm sorry. It's on an opposite computer over here. That's what happens on some of these live streams. All right. Now we got it. Okay. So the whole event, by the way, Crystal, thank you for bearing with me and everybody else. Jeez. The partial eclipse starts at 1:54 Eastern time, 80.2%. It's going to be super cool to see, but remember, you always need the glasses because not on a given day, you're going to go out and look at the sun for an odd period of time. So you're going to start to see more and more of the sun covered up from 1:54 until 3:11 and 56 seconds. At this point, if you live east of I-77 for the Charlotte area, you are likely going to see a mostly sunny to a partly cloudy sky, meaning most of the show is not going to be obstructed. Sadly, as you go west of I-77, and I think Charlotte's right on that partial mix, this model data is showing a blob of clouds over Charlotte. I think you still see the sun. Just clouds are going to be passing over it, but or areas like Shelby, certainly over near Asheville, a lot more cloud cover is going to be upon us. So I think you have some breaks. All in all, I'm calling tomorrow partly cloudy, turning partly sunny, meaning that that's about a 40 to a 60% cloud cover. Not the worst forecast, not the best. I still think that if you're going to be out at any given time, you're still going to be seeing a pretty cool show. And then once you get to 426, it's done, where it starts from the southeast, goes directly over, as you can see in the upper right corner, and then says goodbye. And then we wait a while until our next solar eclipse. We got a show that's starting up here in 7 minutes here on WCNC Charlotte. But if you have any more questions, Larry says, saw a picture on Facebook from a Walmart in Arkansas. All the milk was gone. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of conspiracy theorists, as Larry is bringing up. Surprised the toilet paper hasn't gone yet either. I totally understand. He said it worked at a Walmart in West Columbia. Yeah, I've really been seeing a lot of things trending on Twitter. It was hashtag Rapture coming up. Now, this is just a cool thing. Thing about solar eclipses, they actually happen around the world roughly every 18 months. Sometimes it can happen a couple times in one given year across the world. Just here in the United States, we've been lucky enough to have two major paths of totality in 2017 and in 2024. So here again is the path to totality. This is the most recent model data I have. Best chance for clouds really are from Arkansas to Texas, really clearing out beyond that. Still a big storm chance down towards the south. And then I'm also going to show you a few more graphics. I'm sorry I'm having such graphic problems. Thanks for bearing with me today. But check it out. Beyond this, we already showed you this. I want to show you what's coming up next. So we are looking at some rain that's going to move through for the Charlotte because we talk Charlotte weather here. Next best chance for rain is on Thursday. But back to eclipse stuff, as we are working forward, maybe trying to plan for our next eclipse adventure. Well, wait no further. August 12th, 2045. And not to disclose my plans 21 years from now, but my wife's birthday is August 12th. So we've already planned that, no, not sure where we're going to go, that somewhere along this path of totality from Northern California down through Florida, that's where you're going to see a total eclipse. So hopefully wherever we go, we will not see an immense amount of cloud cover. The bad time about this happening in August, it's hurricane season. So I think the best place to go is, did you know Disney World's right in the path of totality? That's going to be the main place to be. However, it's hurricane season. That could be ruined as well. And Charlotte, if you're watching, when is our next total solar eclipse? Well, eat your veggies. The next time that we're going to see it here in this area is not until May 2078. That's right, May 2078. And this is that next path to totality that the Carolinas are going to see. So that's why this is such a big event. It happens every 18 months or so across the world, but on average, that center line where you're seeing the max path totality, that usually only hits an area every 380 years. So that's why this is such a big deal. And I really hope anyone that's actually traveling does not get nipped by storms, rain, cloud cover, because this is really a once in a lifetime opportunity. Said, flew to the Czech Republic. This is Jason, to Austin to see the solar eclipse. I'm 44 years old, and this event has been on my bucket list. So I hope there's a miracle and the clouds clear up. Jason, man, I'm really hoping for you. Then that's why I hated this when I saw this system. You've probably been watching this. Larry says I'm going to the Philippines next year for the first time. Can't wait. That's going to be a great adventure. But Jason, I really hope it works out for you, man. That's what we're hoping. But that's why I was showing everyone that Texas graphic, because you're probably seeing gloom and doom. It's going to be overcast. Forget about it. There is a glimmer of hope. All you need is the clouds to break just for 2 to 3 minutes on average, where it's going to last for you to see the big show. So I'm really hoping that works out for you. The one thing that's working for you is the storm system that's bringing most of the clouds is pushing east, and most of the rain will be later in the day, like the evening and the overnight. So fingers crossed for all of you, again, for the Charlotte area, mix of cloud and sunshine. Well, I got to get going. I got a show. So I'll keep my fingers crossed for Jason and everyone going. I know, Brooke, you're going to Dallas. In the meantime, if you want more local weather, because I didn't get too much of that, I know just where to go. Go to WCNC Charlotte. Kaylin and I are about to get ready. Looking forward to it. We'll catch you soon. Take care, y'all.